Hi everyone, nice to see all of you. So this presentation will actually be in English. So my name is Johanna and I'm the HR specialist at Íslandshótel. I started just June last year, so I've been there less than a year now. My background is quite diverse. I'm a cosmetologist, I was a flight attendant for several years for Iceland Air. I'm a coach, I have a BS degree in management and leadership. So I would like to call myself a lifelong learner, but that may be because I really don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but you know, hey. Emmy?
Yes, hi, I'm Emmy, I'm French, and I completely underestimated how many of you would be here today. I'm also working at Íslandshótel. I'm the HR development specialist, started there mid-July last year, so we're both very recent in the company. And I have an engineering background, which has impacted a little bit of what you're going to see now.
Mm-hmm. But Emmy and I have actually worked together before for 3+ years. So we actually do call ourselves the dynamic duo. Yeah. So the hospitality industry is not your typical business, and it comes with a lot of challenges. Our hotels never close, and there's work to do 24/7. We have 18 locations all across the country with different challenges and different needs. And the hotels are led by hotel managers, which is not your typical manager role. They have totally unpredictable days and they need to be very flexible. Because of the nature of the roles, it's very important for us in HR to have things as simple and straight to the point as possible for them. And also, of course, being scattered all across the country, it can be difficult to ensure effective communication. So why journeys? The team before us had a really positive experience with 50 skills hire. So when they were pitched for journeys, they saw a huge potential for all the admin tasks. The first objective was initially to create an onboarding process. However, when Emmy and I stepped into our new roles, no process had been implemented yet. So under Helga Kolbrun's guidance or recommendations, we decided actually to start with a simple process and chose the health grant. It was only launched in March last year, so there wasn't a complete process around it yet, and it was wasting a lot of my time. So it was a perfect place to start. Our main pain points, yes, definitely keeping track. In all the identified processes, there was no overview of all the requests. It was also difficult to communicate with other departments like payroll, and there was actually no just clear list on who requested or signed what. And last year we had a total of 411 approved requests in 9 months, and that was just the first year. We are expecting a lot more this year. So as it was a new process, managers really often forgot important information which was necessary for the requests, which led to, as you can imagine, a lot of emails back and forth. Oh, the manual steps, the saving applications, saving documents, uploading it to H3, uploading reports and lists and all of that for payroll, it was a lot of work. So you can imagine there was a lot of time wasted. I spent 1 to 2 hours per case in an average, and best case scenario, maybe 20 minutes, but that was when everything was perfect and just the stars aligned. But worst case scenario, I could spend several hours on each case. I might not have spent 2 hours writing emails per day, but coming back to each case, waiting for information, uploading lists and reports and all of this just took a lot of time. So, as you can guess, it had a lot of impact on my focus throughout the day. So, our key elements of our journey is definitely the status updates, as we do not have to remember to inform anyone anymore. It's all handled automatically. And we mentioned earlier that keeping track of everything was a challenge, and Journeys has definitely improved our data collection. Now HR and payroll can keep track of all of the reports and refunds, and it's easy reporting and data is never lost.
Yes, on top of that, Journeys has a lot of potential for API integrations, which save a lot of manual steps. They're really easy to set up, and there are lots of guidelines available for the people who aren't familiar with doing anything of that, like that. And we personally never needed our IT team or anything. We're completely independent. And in case of problems, the journey support team was always there to help. And of course, the AI features. I personally am having a lot of fun with that. It is rather new. AI plus the code action, which was recently launched. And these are taking care of a lot of human errors for us at this point. So now that you have a better understanding of the impact that journeys can have in your day-to-day task, we're going to be a little bit more technical and show you how it works. So let's deep dive into our health grant process. Every process has to start somewhere. And this was our shitty first draft. Please don't read. This was our shitty first draft. We're a bit in over our heads at first. We had to understand the process, understand what could be improved, what could be automated, what could not be automated with the current technical limitations, all of that. And so I'm going to show you what this journey looks like in Journeys now. Yeah, so which one of you have never used Journeys before? Show of hands. Yeah, you're probably thinking that this is worse, right? I actually had to Frankenstein this image just for you guys because I could not zoom out enough to get a proper screenshot. But okay, I'm going to break this down. It's going to be looking much easier within 5-10 minutes. The only thing you need to know here is that each of the white boxes are actions. And so every time there's a white box, something happens. So we're going to go with this overview of the process going forward. I think it looks nicer. It all starts with an external form. So our employees have the link to the external form. They want to send a health grant request. They open it, and this is what they see. So we ask very simple questions about the requester because usually, we ask hotel managers to fill out these requests. Then information about the employees, information about their employment status, which we are using for eligibility conditions, and what is the grant amount that they are applying for, and a bunch of field uploads where they can upload all of the documents to support the request. Once this is done, the journeys check the conditions, the 2 conditions I mentioned just earlier. And if 1 or 2 of them are not met, then the cancelled is declined, the request is declined, and an email is sent to the manager informing them on why. And then the journey stops. But let's say this employee just met all the requests, so the next step is sending an email to HR, to Johanna, for further validation. So I put the little hand emoji there because this is one of the only actual manual steps. So Johanna receives an email with all of the information from the external form as well as all of the documents. She can review that really quickly and then fill out a form. Initially, it's just 2 questions. Are all the necessary information in the provided document? Yes, no, or decline the request. And is the amount requested valid? This one we'll talk about later, but the first one. There is some conditioning here. If she picks yes, it's yes, great. If she picks no, there are missing information, then she gets this purple box here where she can explain what is missing and even a text box to add even more information. If she picks decline the request, then she gets this blue text box to explain further why the request is declined. All of these informations are going to be used automatically in further steps. So now that we're here, there are 3 ways to go. Either Johanna picked decline the request to go all the way to the right, it's declined, an email is sent to the manager, the journey ends. Middle step here, everything was correct. The stars aligned. It happens a lot more now, to be fair. But we're going to go to the left with the slightly more complicated take on this. So documents are missing. The first thing that happens is that an email is sent to the manager with a form. So we inform him of everything that is missing and what we need. And then he has this form, which is just more upload fields where he can give us more documents. Once this is done, another email is sent to HR. This is exactly the same as the previous one. Looks like that. And let's say at this point, yeah, it's great. Like he added all of the documents that we were missing. we can proceed. Johanna selects yes. However, she noticed that this person already applied for a health grant in the past this year, and they asked for too much. So she has to review the amount by clicking no, and then correcting the amount and explaining why she did that. Then there's this step that is repeated in actually whether you're accepted right away or not. But we're just checking if the amount was corrected, and if so, we update it in the proper field in Journeys. Once this is done, we can continue, and we go on to an API step. So yeah. Here we send all of our information to a third-party platform called Airtable. I think Journeys today just handles most of your data, and that would be enough probably for a lot of people, but we like to use Airtable just for extra dashboard capabilities and things like that, calculations, yeah, that we don't have to add in the journey. Yeah, very simple things, but that helps us long term. So Airtable is an API-powered Excel platform, basically. Once this is done, it's just one step, we send all the documents to the HRIS. So this is this horrible part of my process here. It takes all the space. I don't like it, but I'm going to explain why it looks like that. So first, at Íslandshótel, we have 2 Kenitalas, and H3 is linked to each of these Kenitalas. So unfortunately, first we have to check which company the employee is part of. So that's why we have these 2 massive blocks, because they're actually repeated for each of the company. Once we have it, we can move down, and then we upload document 1 right away, because document 1 is a mandatory document. There has to be at least one thing to document in this process. And then the rest is, we check the field. If it's not empty, as in someone has actually uploaded a document there, then we upload it in H3. And that avoids infinity loops. So hopefully not as complicated as it looked. And now we're pretty much to the end of the process. At this point, we have a last condition, whether the amount was corrected or not, because that impacts what we're communicating in the email. So we have an email where nothing was corrected, the amount is unchanged. It's a very simple confirmation email. The second one provides more information as to what was requested, what is the current approved amount, and why it was changed. This is how you set up an email in the platform. All the blue fields that you can see are information that you get from all these forms that you fill throughout the process. So it's all automatically filled out for you. And voila, this is the end of this help grant. However, you might have noticed I added this little AI thing over there. And we're going to talk about how do we use AI. We're not using so much of it yet, but our main usage here is fixing human errors. In our external forms and all of that, we are using fields where we want to be only numbers, whether for further calculations or for the Kenitala fields, like in H3 is a full number field. Like if you add a dash, it does not work. So some of these fields need to be with no dashes, no anything. And you can say that as loud as you want. It's written everywhere in our forms. People don't listen, or they forget, I don't know, just, but they add things, and then it breaks the journey, and we have to go in and fix things. So we found a way to make that better. So this screenshot is actually from another journey that I implemented very recently. In this one, we are asking managers how many hours of vacation do they want to transfer for one vacation period to the other for their employee. And this, our field, has to be numbers. So first thing I do is, you see the Ask AI box at the top. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Super simple. I just put the field that I wanted to investigate. In purple, you have the prompt. So it's something you write yourself. No witchcraft here. Does the field contain only numbers? It understands that perfectly. So the output is what we have at the end, is a yes or no. For the context, I have tried getting Ask AI to correct the field itself, and it goes full polite. Of course I can do that for you, and your entire field is, of course I can do that for you. The number is, does not work. So anyway, so here we are. Now that we have a yes or no, we go to the left is the token is no. So no, they are not only numbers on your field. So we select the code action. The code just takes whatever was in this field and give me the output only numbers. And then we update the journey and we can continue like nothing happened and nobody had to be involved. There is no manual input, nothing. This is what creating the code looks like. So yeah, on the left, it's the first window. You clicked on Open Code Editor and then you get this big one on the left. I have said I have an engineering background. I haven't coded in 10 years. I hate coding. So I did not code anything here. I used the AI prompt. AI is amazing. I used the AI prompt. I said, I want to take this field and have only a number, only numbers at the end of it. Clicked on Generate, generated some code, put something in the test at the bottom and got an error. So what did I do? I took the code, I took the error, put it in ChatGPT and asked, yeah, can you fix that for me? Did that a couple times until I had a working code. You really do not need to understand at all what the code is doing, as long as it works. So yeah, you can see at the bottom here, the manager would have put 76 hours, but my output in green is 76. It's exactly what I want. So that was it for AI.
Yes, so let's get to the results. Like you have heard of the presentation from Samskip and now us, Journeys is a massive time saver. Like I mentioned before, with a health grant, I was spending 1 to 2 hours per case, but now it's around 5 to 20 minutes. And for other processes, like the transportation grant, there is actually just no work needed for HR anymore. So this has simplified everything for HR managers, payroll, and there's way less manual work. The mental load has been lifted, for sure, and there's more time for projects now, other projects. And as you all know, manual admin tasks increase the chance of human errors. But with the forms, every step is spelled out for the manager. And finally, it improves communication without having to write emails. Everyone is updated at each important steps, and this makes our managers very happy and informed. Here are other aspects that have drastically improved our lives, and that is a ticket system. We implemented at the same time as the health grant for a better overview than emails in Outlook. As a ticket, it really doesn't get lost. It's just staring you in the face like, close me, so it's really good. And I do get it, 100+ steps process is intimidating to look at. However, all the steps are handled with forms received by a ticket, in this case, and I really don't need to log into Journeys at all. So we only open it if a problem occurs. We also have a form portal like Samskip, which is provided from Journeys, and the managers have access to the link through our intranet, and it's super easy to update a journey if needed, and no one ever loses the link. So here is the form portal at the moment. We will definitely be adding more to this.
And yes, finally, as our friends from Samskip probably said earlier, they were supposed to say it. I don't understand Icelandic, so I hope they said it. It does get easier. Just to go back to what I showed you at the very beginning, we were so overwhelmed that day. It took a few days to draft all of that, and it took a lot of trials and errors. We were very supported by the support team, to be fair. Like, they were very helpful all along the way. But it took us days probably to have a working journeys here, and then we came up with like 2 or other improved versions of this journey. But, for example, we were asked just a couple of weeks ago to implement a new journey called the vacation transfer request that I kind of mentioned earlier. And it took me probably 4 hours total from the moment I was asked, the time it took me to understand the journey and to put it into the system, test it, and add new features that I had never used before, like the code action. So I think it's definitely worth the initial investment.
So I think we're actually running out of time, but as you can see here, we have a lot of future plans. Finally, focus on the onboarding and offboarding, implementing change request, development grant, and of course, more AI and code. So thank you everyone for your attention.